She worked, I think, as a clerk at a grocery store, and she would spend all that in acting classes. And she went and did an acting school, but now she's doing a lot of acting workshops. She's going through audition classes and everything. And, you know, it took her a while to find an agency, but she's like, I'm getting, if I'm lucky, 2 auditions a year. 2 auditions a year. And she's one of the most hardworking people I know. And then I had a friend when I worked in a restaurant before, and I was bartending, and she was a server. And she wasn't even into acting at all. She just liked Instagram, and she would like posting on Instagram. And I think she was going to school for something, but totally outside the entertainment industry. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, like, if you know, we're talking about just like pure looks. Gorgeous, like she don't know her ethnicity. It's very vague. She can be Latina. She can easily be European as well. But also, like, she is just magnificently gorgeous as a human being. And then these guests saw her and was like, "We're photographers. Can we like take photos of you?" Took photos of her, absolutely gorgeous, of course. She started posting on Instagram. She started getting a lot of likes and comments with it. And then the photographers really liked that because it also put them in the map, so they started collaborating together. And guess what? In just a few months, she started working with big brands. You know, there's this brand, shoe brand in Vancouver that does waterproof shoes, and she was able to, they sent them to Hawaii to shoot something, you know. And I remember it just like her career started like snowballing, and she got a small role on Netflix. A big agency emailed her. And I remember she talked to me, she's like, "Yeah, there's this agency, I don't know if it's down or something." And I was like, "No, message me that, girl, because they're big. They're a big agency." And, you know, through that agency, like, she got that Netflix. And she had 0 training. She had 0 schooling, she didn't spend anything in acting classes, nothing. And she is now working in the entertainment industry. She got sent to Toronto and for a commercial that made her, I don't know, like, I think it was like 18, 20 grand or something over the weekend, because it was a big company. And then I have a friend who's very hardworking, amazing actor. And to this day, I don't even think she's come anything close to 10% of what my other friend achieved. That story is to not kind of like disappoint people and be like, well, too bad if you're ugly. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are facets of truth in this world that we need to accept, and we don't have to delude ourselves, because that's what I did. And when I truly understand there are certain truths, like, for example, if you truly care about the way you present yourself to the world, and that starts with nutrition, that starts with health, that starts with the insides when it comes to like your diet. Because, you know, you cannot present yourself well if you're not putting good things in your body. So we gotta start like, there's true factors in this world that you cannot ignore. And I hated that I grew up thinking that just like, if you just work hard enough, if you just put your head down, you'll be given everything. Now realizing that there's truth that your appearance will matter and will open doors for you. Because when opportunity is ready to dance with you, it's going to judge you by its cover. Especially in certain industries like art. It is insane. It is insane that if like you're not really focusing on your health and wellness and appearances and the way you present yourself to the world in 2026, you're going to miss out on a lot. This is a bigger conversation for sure. I just wanted to leave it at that. Love you guys. Happy 2026.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. But you?
Well, yeah, I'm better after a few.
Thanks for doing it.
You're
feeling fine because your belly's big.
That's pretty normal for 18 weeks.
What do you mean 18 weeks? What?
I've been pregnant. I mean, I don't think
It's not right. You're pregnant.
Okay, this is not fun.
Waking up, I was completely stunned. Just had her wedding yesterday, but now Leanne is 4 months pregnant. Getting out of bed. Last night's messy room was now spotless, and Leanne's belly was visibly rounded. She showed me photos on her phone, all memories from our past year. I haven't lived through any of them. I couldn't believe it. Wondered if exhaustion was making
was lying, just making excuses for forgetting our anniversary. She said I didn't care about anniversary at all. I turned to my friend Sam to help, made him promise to remind me to prepare a 3-year anniversary gift next year. And that, I'd place an orange on a flower pot. Within seconds, the plan changed. The orange rotted into mud. Sam appeared as promised. I told him my world skips a full year every few minutes. I made him agree to visit me once every year. As he left, he tossed me an old doll. What's that, dude? So you asked for a nursery present? I asked for an anniversary present. Oh no, it sounds like your third birthday. I said third anniversary. Returning home, the child had grown taller again. Leanne's eyes turned colder. She said I only cared about work. I gave her the doll. She handed me a wallet, telling me to put my wrap of money inside. Seconds later, the wallet thickened. The room stood empty. Leanne was already gone.
Hey guys, I know that I said that I was going to start marathoning, but forget the cut in 2026. Look what my lovely fiance just made me. We've got a steak sandwich with leftover New York strip. What else do we have? We've got cheese. We've got Peter Wilbur sauce, if you don't know. It's some Christmas tree up in the background. It's festive as hell. And yeah, I'm just about to enjoy this, and that's all.
When I asked my girlfriend why she didn't invite me to her graduation ceremony, she shouted in front of everyone, "My parents don't like you, they like my ex." I simply said, "I understand." When she left, I packed everything and walked away. Her father's panicked call that night changed everything. Adriana and I had been together for 3 years, living together for the past year and a half. 2 weeks before her graduation, she started being dodgy about details, changing subjects whenever I asked. One morning, I pressed her, "Saturday at 2 p.m., right? Maybe it's better if you don't come." "What? We've been planning this for months." I took the day off. She wouldn't forgive me. A few days later, her parents changed the date. I'd met them maybe 5 times in 3 years. Always cold. Her father, Richard, looked past me like I was furniture. Richard comes through my surgical precision. Nathan was invited. A very ambitious young man. Nathan. Her ex from college, Adriana, went pale. Please, Nathan is doing very well. Just bought a place in River Oaks. Patricia added. Such a shame her things ended. You were so good together. I felt Adriana squeeze my hand under the table, but she said nothing. He's been asking about you. We always thought you two would end up married. I set down the phone. I'm sitting right here. No offense intended, Richard said. I cooked dinner, and now I'm listening to you talk about her ex at our table. Patricia's expression was cold. There's no need to be rude. It's my apartment, Adriana said quietly. They left within 5 minutes. Patricia hugging Adriana while ignoring me completely. After they left, I confronted her. "How long have you known they don't like me?" She spun around. "What do you want me to say? They don't. They think I could do better. They think Nathan was better. Are you happy? Have you been hiding me this whole time?" I didn't want to deal with their judgment, so instead of standing up for me, you kept me hidden. She didn't respond. The next week, she'd come home at 11 p.m., go straight to bed. The distance grew. Graduation morning, I woke to find her dressed, texting someone and smiling. "You look beautiful, thanks. Are we really not going to talk about me not being invited?" Her face changed. She set her phone down hard. "Fine. My parents don't like you. They don't think you're good. They think you're wasting your time with someone who has no ambition, no family, money, nothing to offer. They like Nathan." And honestly, she grabbed her purse. "Sometimes I think they might be right. I understand," I said quietly. She blinked. "What? I understand. You should go. That's it. You just told me everything I needed to know." She waited for me to fight for bed. When I didn't, she left, slamming the door. I packed everything. 3 hours, 4 car trips. Left my keys on the counter with a note. "Good luck with everything." Around 7 p.m., my phone exploded. 12 missed calls, 20 plus texts. I didn't respond. At 9 p.m., Richard called, voice shaking. "Theo, where are you? Adriana's saying strange things. We found the apartment half empty. She told me this morning you don't think I'm good enough. Were you aware of this?" Long silence. "Did you say those things to her?" "We may have expressed..."
Gotta get everyone. Hardcore sci-fi. Check out my new Netflix series coming next fall.
to say, it might sound crazy, but hey, I think that I don't have, like, my social skills are going down the drain simply because I think I isolated myself too much. I've been in isolation for 5 years. 5 years straight, like consecutive, 1 year after the other. I haven't been outside, and when I do go outside, it's to go to work. Or if, like, my brother tells me you want to go here or that. But when it comes to, like, friendships, I try to give, like, a group of people a chance, like, try to go back out my shell. But then they did some little weird stuff to me, right? So I went back into isolation. And it's like, it's 10 times worse than it was before. Because now, like, little stuff, little things irritate me. Stuff that wouldn't irritate me before. I used to be one of the people that had the most patience. I could deal with a lot. A lot of stuff that irritate me. So I just let it be. But now, I can go outside. If I go outside, as soon as a person, I just don't like to talk to them. It's weird. I go to work, people come in my face talking, I hate it. And I don't like that. I really don't like it because, y'all, I'm a social person. I'm a people's person. I didn't used to always be, but I've always known that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I like people. That would be a stretch. What I would say is that, y'all, I'm a people's person. I get along with a lot of people, but now, not alone. It got to the point where it's like, any little thing will make me want to go back home. I want to go back to my house. And it's only because I'm so used to being by myself all the time, y'all. Now I just be at home. I found myself last night, I was cooking. I was in my kitchen cooking. I found myself just holding a conversation, like speaking out loud to myself. It happened a lot because I feel like I'm the weirdest motherfucker I can talk to. But, you know what I'm saying? I've been speaking out loud to myself. And other than that, other than me getting advice from like me and like, you know, universe and stuff like that, I get it from my brother. I don't have friends, y'all. I be trying to make friends. When I had somebody, I had a couple friends. And my problem is, I don't text back. Or sometimes I'm meeting the wrong friends that just, you know, they don't have the right intentions. But like, too much isolation can definitely do a disadvantage. It's not always a good thing. It's so crazy, y'all, to a point. Sometimes I find myself making excuses. When my brother give us plans from home, I find myself making excuses of why I cannot make them plan. And it's only because, like, outside just become weird to me now, y'all. And I don't like that. I really don't want it to be that way. I want friends, you know what I'm saying? I like to socialize. I like to go outside, I like to travel, I like to do some different stuff. I just don't know where to start no more. I don't even know where to start no more with making friends. So that's my thing. I'm a very Christian person. I tell people, you gotta go in person. But on the phone, it cannot be social media. It cannot be text message. Because that's my way to be real. I don't know y'all, but I think that's the only way. But I really don't know where to start to where it's like, where to start with going outside and socializing. Sometimes I feel like it's too late. But y'all, I'm only 23. I'm going outside and make some friends. Something gotta give.
Not just 50, not just 100, not 150, 200 mega flex trash bags. We know I'd be buying trash bags off of TikTok, but when I saw the price, I had to stock up. These are the mega flex trash bags, so they're never going to rip on you. Plus, every single one of these are scented, so you can cover up all that disgusting smells out of your trash. Normally, retail stores, 200 trash bags go for upwards of $50, but if you look at that price point down below, I don't even know how they're this cheap right now. We're only running this sale for the next couple of days, so if I'm with you, like, here's next on these, it's stocked up.
Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Everything works out for me. I don't care. It's the truth. I don't care if I've been in a car accident. There's a reason that happened to me. Now it'll be up to me to figure out how I rise and heal out of this accident. If I am fired from the job, guess what? I'm supposed to learn something from this job, and they will talk about and tell me how sorry they are that they fired me, because they knew I didn't deserve it. It always works out for me. After that concept, you have to look in the mirror and know yourself.
generally a permanent statement that is subconsciously holding into your brain, and therefore always sort of have like a negative connotation, like we're used to interacting with guys. When the reality is it might just be your experience in people that don't necessarily have patience or respect the process of your dating process. That's not to say that your experience is valid, but the language that we use when it comes to a variety of experiences, it in turn has a subconscious effect in the way that we interact within social situations. It's sort of the whole like half glass full and half glass empty kind of. So like whenever I was struggling when it came to being single and when it came to dating, I used to like really make the statement like all guys are mutually unavailable. And I genuinely believe that, and it subconsciously affected the way that I was dating guys, because I would almost go into the expectation and I would go in with the sense of anxiety of those people becoming emotionally available or being emotionally available. Because that was the thing that I told myself when I started to reframe the language of saying, the guys I dated in the past or the guys I had experiences with have typically been more emotionally unavailable. It gave me a more optimistic look when it came to the future. It's not to say that I wasn't going to attract emotionally unavailable men, right? Because I did in the future, but I have a less negative view on it. Therefore, I created less negative judgments towards them, but also towards myself, whatever things that really work out. And so the language that you say, the language that you utilize, it has an impact on the way that we interact, the way that we behave. Because those automatic thoughts create, those ongoing thoughts and those behaviors, which in turn trigger behaviors, which can further, re-influence the thoughts, and it just kind of turns into a data cycle. Now, this could all be woo shit, you don't have to agree with me. That's just sort of something I think. But anyway, much love. Hold on.
I want a dresser. I don't have to be able to move around. I currently got one of these in stores at the top. This one has 7 different drawers. Drawers are actually made of fabric, but they're actually quite sturdy. A kind of foul wood on the outside as well. They slide perfectly in and out. And if you're looking for a good dresser that's affordable, that you can move around easily around your home, definitely check this one out, especially with flash sale. If you guys want to grab this dresser, I'm leaving this right now. Bringing it back to social media, I stopped vlogging. I started vlogging when I was 14. I stopped vlogging a little bit after COVID starting to die down and end. And I stopped vlogging because I started documenting the majority of my life instead of it on camera. I started documenting my life through journals. Well, I've always had a journal, but you know what I mean. I stopped doing it on camera. I just kept journals.
Second place, come on.
This concept of death, that I believe that when you die, it means that when you die, you're going to see a flash of memories from the day that you were in the womb all the way up until the day that you died. I believe you're going to watch your entire life before you. And that POV is very, very interesting to me because you're going to experience and watch your life. Not even, you're going to watch your life as rawly as it can get, completely as it motherfucking was. And it's beautiful to me. And I think that how I'm interested in engaging with social media, what I want to experiment with again, and I feel like somebody just started like this. I want to engage with social media in a way where photo, video, essays, Twitter posts, whatever, instead of because a lot of what's going on social media right now is people are performing for the moment. They are performing a memory, right? What is beautiful and what's artistic and what is raw and authentic is the memory. like, I'm at a bar. Take a selfie. That is a memory. You're at the bar. You took a selfie at the bar. It is a memory. But what would be a wrong, authentic representation of the memory is if you are at the bar, not posing for the picture at the bar. You're not posing at the bar. You're not performing that you're at the bar. We're just capturing, there's just a camera capturing you at the bar, doing you, not posing for the picture, not acknowledging, because the memory, what makes the memory beautiful, what makes the moment beautiful is that you aren't to the camera, you don't notice the camera is there, you're not noticing us watching you, you're not noticing, do you understand what I'm saying? I think, like, deep down, none of us know how we look to one another. That's why it's called a motherfucking POV. You're experiencing your life as you, because you can only see yourself through your view. I want experienced people to see people. I want to see people in their element, how I see them. I want to see them as they can't see themselves. Does that make sense? And I would like for something to me I learned about my favorite photographer at feed is when I'm looking at a picture, it doesn't look like those that they are being. You're just capturing a memory from the essence of real people. And that is the how social emotion and just and just being in those moments and connecting with one another in those moments. That would be really nice and beautiful. And like from an artist perspective, just as an artist eye, I just want to see. I mean, I think it's, I don't know. It really like that.
The Stranger Things season 5 finale may have not been the last episode of the show. If what I'm about to say is true, the best twist of all time. The whole idea is that Mike Duncan is trans, and this is not the real thing. Like every single person, including the extras in the background, are all doing the back of the look at what everyone's doing with their hands here, except for Mike. Why is there someone with like also during graduation, every main character, every single
Shot for many people who live in the area where that happened. And even to our community, mourning the loss of the church. Probably when they got and not something that the man was in their home. While on that 911 call, investigators say that 36-year-old Ryan Camacho began assaulting her. When officers arrived at his home, police say she had life-threatening injuries. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. Police charged Camacho with welfare murder and area say they don't recognize Camacho.
It's crazy. Stuff going on so close to me, like right down the street here. Yeah, a lot of.
Ravenscroft and Raleigh. Ravenscroft community is devastated by the loss of our beloved colleague and friend Zoe Welch. Zoe has been for years. Her loss is deeply
classroom. The school added they will be providing grief counseling and support resources for faculty, staff, and students when they return to campus on Monday. Chief Rico Boyd. And for the unimaginable trauma. And police adding their investigation is ongoing. The suspect, Ryan Camacho, is behind bars and expected to make his first court appearance on Monday. Steve?
This is my dash cam. No cables anywhere. I can take it right out of the car and it still runs. Why? Because it's 100% wireless. You only have to charge it about once a week. It records in 1080p. Standard. Plus a link camera, just like it. So, still record. Live. Now.
Yo, really just hit me. I think I took the stand why I mean by ghetto. I think we had it wrong this whole time, or I just had it right. Oftentimes, white people say, or anybody who's not black will say, wait, let's talk. Me, people real. They what are you talking about? Stuff like that, like. It's like this. I just seen a video and the man was like, being black in white space, it didn't like not being black, but being a nigga, like really being a nigga, and he was like, and it just hit me. That's ghetto stuff. Ghetto is when you've been around your people for so long, and just your people or your people in majority, so you don't have to code switch, so you don't have to change the way you talk, you don't have to change your accent, you don't have to change your body language. And there's another video talking about how in the South, emotes is everything. You don't got to say nothing. I can hit it with it, or I hit it with it, and you know exactly. Okay, that's what it is. That's what ghetto is to them. You don't have to them. You don't want to understand this society. It's support. That being selfish, being culture. Always happy, but only they take it outside. It's associated with example sticky bangs, right? You know that it's right. Only that you take the exact same thing and recreate it, but in a white supremacist way. It is no longer ghetto because it has been introduced to your culture, and you can all do it this way. An example that Pilates. We know Pilates is not no prissy white people shit. You know that Joseph Pilates admitted that while he was in jail, he was shape. Right? We know that one of the Joseph Pilates, I believe, only certified one or two people, the creator of Pilates. Mind you, that's who Joseph Pilates is, and one of them was a black woman. But they tried to tell you that is for white people. That is what this prissy shit that they do, and that's not it. The moment that they disassociate us from it and try to recreate it, is no one ever. It's their culture and not ours. And it just hit me. Because that was the accent. I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're brown, I don't care what you are. Jordan, that's where the accent comes from. The culture comes from. Anyone chooses to assimilate to black or white is them. Which sparks the conversation people are having. So right now, I'm so glad I didn't go through a ghetto white girl phase. The word ghetto is a place that brings you back to origin or history of black culture. They give it a name. They put a spin on it. So anything black culture, learning black culture, understanding black culture, to stand in it and know, believe, associate When I say nothing, I don't it's assimilated. Black people, that's why black people cannot be racist. The concept of race is for black people. Just simply, there was only two races at one point, black and white. White society, white supremacy is what we know. To be ghetto is to flip to the other side, to want to live in the other society. And look at all the things that qualify you to be ghetto and tell me that I'm wrong.
We had ChatGPT to rank the top 10 duelists on Marvel Season 5.5. Let's see what it came up with.
Coming in at number 10, which I'm really surprised about, is Helen. ChatGPT said, soft is looking to be situational but still meta relevant.
At number 9, I don't know how he's this low, but ChatGPT says Daryl CEO is an agile and pressure-oriented character with decent coordination play.
Decent?
That's all you have to say. Decent. Daredevil is a backline B.
Coming in at number 8, ChatGPT put Hawkeye. Reliable range of duelists, strong pick potential with specific. We could Hawkeye. Well, actually, let me take that back.
At number 7, you got Iron Man. He even sneaked to
See in the top 15?
no.
At number 6, we have Good Ivory. ChatGPT said great die/stick potential with strong dueling ult.
Number 5, ChatGPT has Namor. He has speed mobility and image output and aggressive playstyles.
At number 4, we have Scarlet Witch. Oh.
At number 3, I don't even know how ChatGPT put him here, but we've got Moon Knight. On pressure. I am not, although he's not top 3, he's not. Honestly, he's top 5, guys.
And number 2, we have Magic. Oh. That is true. She does sell her supports. I can't count how many times I've seen it screamed.
And this is ChatGPT's number 1.
Okay, we are here with live updates for the award recipients from the 31st Annual Critics' Choice. First up, our best young actor or actress is Miles Hampton from Sinners. This award is so well done. He is incredible in this film. Erin Doherty won the Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television for Adolescence. Won the same category with the male category for Adolescence. Stephen Graham also won for Adolescence. Sarah Smith won for All Her Fault. South Park was crowned the Best Animated Series. Adolfo Veloso was crowned Best Cinematography for Train Dreams. SNL Series Special was awarded the Best Comedy Special. Adolescence was crowned the Best Limited Series. Janelle James was crowned Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for Abbott Elementary. Francine Baylor for Best Casting and Ensemble for Sinners. Jimmy Kimmel Live was awarded the Best I think that's how you say it. He was awarded Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series for The Studio. Seth Rogen won for Best Actor in a Comedy Series for The Studio. And Jean Smart won the Best Actress in a Comedy Series for Hacks. Stay tuned. This is fun. I'll be bringing you live updates throughout the evening.
Japan is one of the only countries to like the systemic issue. In 2008, Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare introduced what is known as the Metabolo Law, which makes employers and the local government responsible for handling the annual waste measurement of about 50 million citizens from ages 40 to 74. Women are required to meet the waste measurement of 85 to about 30 to reach people are required to attend a combination of counseling sessions monitored through phone and email correspondence, and they receive motivational support. But more importantly, at a company, if a certain percent of employees are over the waste limit, the company is taxed, moving the responsibility from individual accountability to systemic responsibility. Not to mention that Japan has destigmatized obesity. In fact, they have removed obesity from the vocabulary at all. They actually have replaced it with the term metabolic syndrome, which is where the word metabolism comes from. Metabolic syndrome problems associated with cholesterol, high blood pressure, and high blood sugar. And the reason why Japan measures waistlines instead of BMI is because it is the easiest way to determine visceral fat. Visceral fat is the detoxic fat that wraps around your internal organs like liver, pancreas, intestines, and actually grow endocrine organ, pumping out inflammatory chemicals and hormones that large waist circumference is the simplest indicator of high visceral fat. It is a more accurate predictor of health risk than BMI because BMI alone can't distinguish the difference between fat, muscle, or between subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. High visceral fat is directly linked to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, heart disease and strokes, certain cancers, fatty liver disease, and Alzheimer's disease. Japan's Metabolo Law is the world's clearest example of a nation treating obesity not as a personal failing, but as a public health crisis and systemic intervention. It is the antithesis of the U.S. approach of individual blame and corporate non-regulation. This is logically consistent treating obesity as the environmental disease that it is. And it exposes the U.S. model as hypocritical. The U.S. allows toxic environment to be created and then blame the individual for succumbing to it, and then have activists fight for the right to be aesthetically accepted. They measure waste because they know visceral fat is a killer. Fine governments and corporations if their people are unhealthy because they know it's a systemic failure. Meanwhile, in America, we blame the individual and then celebrate body positivity as a strategy while simultaneously allowing the food industry to poison us for profit. One country sees the health of its citizens as a national asset, while the other treats its citizens as consumers to be getting sick and then sell a cure. Are we seeing the fuck now?
Every day can be very boring because people are ordering like a latte matches, but when somebody tells me, oh, I want a dry cappuccino, I want a bone dry cappuccino, I want a bone dry quad cappuccino on a larger cup so that I can get extra, please. Or when they be like, oh, like you have to, annoying drip ever. A hazelnut caramel mocha latte with pistachio. That's what I need. I need excitement. I need adrenaline. I need to feel like, oh shit, I need to make this drink so
your goal to minimize or
Personal decade's not going anywhere. We will all have the final decade of life. My goal is to make the final decade as enjoyable as possible. The way I explain it to my patients is that last 10 to 15 years, if you don't do anything about it, you will fall to a level of about 50% of your capacity cognitively, physically.
My dad was never there like I needed him to be, but I always had my dad. My mom and John married and fell together. My pops is John quickly got into a relationship with my mom's friend. So I had two children from a previous relationship. These people are messy. Since Emily was his biological daughter, he had visitation rights on weekends, and I would often go stay at Sean's new home with his new girlfriend. My sister Emily and I got adults considered small siblings. During this time, the opioid epidemic was quickly taking over the nation, and unfortunately, my mom, Sean, and his new girlfriend had all been swept up in full-blown addicts. Legal troubles followed. Sean was sentenced to 6 years in prison. This was traumatizing to all of the kids involved, and me being the oldest, I was disappointed. Their actions forced me to take on roles I was far too young for, but regardless, I loved them. They were my family. When Sean went to prison, my mom got together and started all that. Since I was 17 at the time, I had my own cell phone and made sure he had my he didn't write. He didn't ask me to visit. Absolutely. Ask after him to my sister Emily to give me quick updates like, he's doing good. He started at a work program since he's been sober for so long. They were great updates, but I was always confused why he was. Maybe trauma and pain their addictions caused, and was working on himself and things would be better when he came home. By the time John was released from prison, my life had changed quite a bit. I'd gotten married, had 2 kids, and then had become a widow. I had battled with trauma. I was decided to sit them and talk with them about what adult life is. What he had at the time was like, he came home, I reached out and never came around. He was always with Emily and Sarah. He always went to their houses to visit for long periods of time, attended all their kids' birthdays, gave their kids gifts, and even showered them with money and paid their bills for them. He still to this day has never, not one time, attended one of my kids' birthdays or special events. He's never come to my house to visit, not even just for a few hours. By the time I turned 28, I was angry and hurt. I felt like a child waiting for her dad to notice her sitting alone in the corner. I felt left out and unloved. My mom and sister Emily and Sarah knew how I felt. They all knew I was hurting. That hurt and anger. Tired of hoping. Tired of begging. So I just stopped. I wanted nothing to do with him. I didn't want to see him or be around him. First, that's the found that couldn't be avoided, like my sister's kids' birthdays. He never said more than 5 words to me. So I eventually stopped. I started with Sean and hopes he'd ask me why, and it would spark the conversation. He didn't even notice. Now on asking if I could watch her kids for her next Saturday night. She didn't give me a reason why she needed me. Of course, I'll keep them. Well, that following Tuesday, I was at my granny's house when she accidentally let it slip that the reason I was asked to babysit is because my mom and Sean were going out with Emily and her husband to a bar in the state of Virginia It's a secret. It asked me not to tell them I knew. Why couldn't I know? They're all grown ups. Fun and go. Do I think it's a bit weird my mom be going out with her ex-husband? Yes. But I surely have no room to judge. My feelings aren't her responsibility. There's no reason to lie to me. The next day, I received this message from Grandma. Okay, honey, but I need to talk to you about this. I know you're still upset about the stuff with your sister. The Lord thank you for giving up. Please just think about it. I love you with all my heart. It breaks my heart to see you cry. Life is way too short to hold grudges, so will you please do that for me? John Doe. Hey, girl, for all you need. Amazing.
It's not saying enough up in the United States. Today is January 4th, 2026, and yesterday the United States crossed the line. Exactly what we need to do next in the United States. From his sovereign country and disappeared him to the United States. The White House then released a trophy photo of him and posted, "Come and find out." Trump said that the United States is going to run Venezuela, quote unquote, that the run a sovereign nation until it can make a transition of power. Not the people of Venezuela, the United States. This is an occupation. Just at war with our allies. Yeah. Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum just speak to the camera. Doing this, killing fishermen are doing it as a group of pedophiles who are trying to keep the Epstein list from coming out. The United States is isolated, and we're at war at home. And you guys, this is not a separate story. This is a two-front war that is happening. While they launch a real war abroad, so plague in the world, and they're being blatant about it. So what does this mean for you? One, we are all less safe. American assets worldwide are bigger targets. Two, your digital privacy is over. Whatever semblance of privacy you thought you had doesn't exist. Your community is now your you need to build networks for passport, your birth certificate, legal papers, custody agreements, your deed to your home. You need to make sure you have physical copies. You need to assume that you're going to have to prove your own documents to someone who is out of the country in case you need them. Yes, it sounds extreme, and that's where we are. We're in an extreme. You need to harden your information diet. You need to follow sources that you can trust. You need to make sure that you can try to verify what you're reading before you share it. We are about to enter into a full-fledged disinformation campaign, as stated by Netanyahu, to try to influence people. Okay, it's happening already, and TikTok was just sold. So the U.S. version of TikTok is going to be a propaganda machine. You are likely not going to continue to see my videos. Please follow us over on Substack. That's our new homepage. So please join us over there. And last, you need to grab that is going to help you get prepared. You're already late. Already late. So get the book, get prepared, fortify your community. The bottom line is this: fuck around and find out doctrine in many parts of the rest of the world against us, and if you win to to the United States adversaries and committed the United States to this fucking forever war, which this U.S. regime thinks that they're conducting a later. The real strength is a state republic.
As a heavy topic, we discussed it before, but this is a trigger one. We have to talk about our community, the cycle of sexual assault and the effect that it has on
No one was around me the whole game. As soon as I started doing some damage.
That's what the cycle is. It happened to me, I'm going to do it to you. It happened to a child. The girl that did it to me, it happened to her. That's how she got exposed to it. That's what tripped that wire in her brain. That's what